Today, I'm going to be sharing my weight loss journey with you. I'm officially 76 pounds down. I've been on this journey for over 2 years, and I know a lot of you are really struggling to just get started, stay consistent, especially when juggling your business. A lot of you are moms, juggling family. It can be a lot and really hard to prioritize yourself. So today, I'm going to share a little bit of my journey, and then we're going to get into some Q&As that you guys have sent in. So keep watching. Welcome to The Rebel Show, the podcast for estheticians who want to grow their business, master social media, and perfect their waxing technique. I'm Brie Mesquit, esthetician, business coach, and founder of Rebel Wax and first-to-market wax pads. I built a 6-figure clientele, a 7-figure brand, and have trained over 15,000 waxers through my in-person and online courses. Are you struggling to book clients or market yourself? You're in the right place. Each week, I bring real business strategies, waxing education, and no BS advice to help you grow. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to The Rebel Show. I'm Brie. I'm an esthetician, educator, wax brand owner, and commission wax studio owner. Today, I'm going to be talking all about my journey with weight loss. So even if you guys aren't necessarily in the beauty industry and somehow you happen across this video, I'm going to give you all the actionable steps that I took to finally stop yo-yo dieting, being inconsistent with the gym, and learning how to be able to prioritize myself without taking away from my other responsibilities. My family, my business, it's actually directly positively impacted my family and my business. So let's step back to April of 2023. This is when it officially began, my journey that actually finally stuck. I would say my weight loss and health and fitness journey has been a thing that I've tried for many years, really ever since having children. I never quite bounced back. I wanted to achieve what I looked like in high school, which is not a very realistic expectation. A 16, 17, 18-year-old body is going to be a whole lot different than 30, but I have to say, I actually am starting to feel even stronger and healthier than I was back then. April is when it finally stuck. I had tried everything, you guys. I always did the stupid, crazy diets. I remember one time I had a model client. She came to me for facials when I used to do facials, and she did this crazy diet. Now I forget what it was called, but like drinking a gallon of like salt water and like honey mixture drink. I forget. You guys probably know what diet I'm talking about, but I'm telling you, I've tried everything. I've done keto, which actually worked, but wasn't sustainable. I gained it all back. I did so many different things, but this time it finally stuck. It's sustainable, and I created healthy habits that now I can proudly say this is just my lifestyle and part of our routine, and I don't have to force myself anymore. That's the biggest thing, is there's no forcing. Like, I actually enjoy the way that we are living, and even more than that, I feel so much better, more confident. My business has grown. My kids, my family's in a healthier state. So April, I asked my husband if he was okay with me sharing this. It definitely, when you're not feeling your best, it leaks into everything, right? So our marriage is in such a better place. And we've always had my husband and I are best friends. We're homies. So we're locked in, but we were definitely arguing more, just like really on edge and irritable and just not the most patient, I would say. And I think it really stemmed from both of us just not feeling good about ourselves. I had hit 215 pounds. For me, that was really heavy. I was so uncomfortable. I'm only 5'1", so I'm a shorty. Everyone that I meet in person, they're like, oh my God, you're so much shorter than I thought. I always giggle when people tell me that. But anyway, so I was at my heaviest, so uncomfortable, so miserable. My husband and I got in a big old fight. I don't even know what it was about. But I remember I was like, F you, excuse my language, left. I got a hotel for the night. I remember, it was one of those pivotal turning points, right? So I went and got a motel locally, so dumb. And then we ended up like talking on the phone all night. It was so dumb. I'm like, I should just come home, but I paid for the night already. Anyways, I was sitting there, I was like, I am so done. I feel like crap. I have zero energy. I don't feel good to be showing up for my customers, my family. Like, social media is such a big part of our business, and me being able to provide education. Like, I wasn't showing up on camera anymore. I was just so unhappy and so uncomfortable and lost all my confidence. So it was that moment I was like, F this, honestly. I was F this, I'm done. So I finally hit that breaking point that night at the motel. I researched a doctor. I took a test that helped with what supplements I needed and then also what foods to avoid. So that was a big one. So I started avoiding some of those foods. Honestly, I eat all of them now and I still feel fine. But that's kind of what kicked it off. I had a teleconference with someone from 10X Health, and that's kind of what kicked it off. Then I got a gym membership, started going to Planet Fitness. Now, this was the thing that was different this time. I didn't have a full plan, which isn't necessarily what I recommend. I do recommend having some sort of a plan that you can follow. But this time I just got started and I committed to not quitting. That was my commitment, was not quitting and just getting started, even though I felt really, really uncomfortable. And I'm going to get to your guys' questions that you sent in. There was quite a few. And part of that was, how do you get over gym anxiety? I definitely had gym anxiety at the beginning, so I'll talk a little bit about that as well. What was different this time was I stopped going so hard. I had done 75 hard before. I did all these really intense programs. It's not sustainable. So I just committed, I'm going to show up, and I started by walking on the treadmill. I didn't lift weights. Now I'm very focused on weightlifting, but then I just walked on the treadmill. That's what I committed to. I'd put a podcast on, maybe watch something on my phone, on YouTube or whatever, and I just walked. And then I kind of started scanning and watching what other people were doing, but I just continued to show up. Quick interruption to the show. I wanted to make sure that you are aware of my free 6-week hard waxing 101 course that I have put out for waxers to gain confidence in the treatment room, no matter where it is in your waxing career that you are at. You will also receive a certificate of completion once you complete the course. So visit us online, lashwaxoc.com, and you will click the training tab. Now back to the show. That was my beginning of my fitness journey. There's a saying, I'm screwing it up, but something along the lines of you can't outwork a bad diet, or abs are made in the kitchen. I do not have abs yet. I don't know if I will have abs. I don't know if I want abs. But anyways, you have to really nail down your diet and make changes to your diet. The cool thing is, though, when you have a lot of weight to lose, you can make little changes and you're going to see results from those changes. So I didn't go all in and super hard on any of this. You guys need to read the book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I've talked about it before on my podcast, but it's exactly this concept of small little wins compounded and stacked over time create big results. So that's exactly what I did. With fitness, it was just showing up to the gym and starting to walk on the treadmill and being consistent with it. And then with food, I started first by prioritizing protein. So anytime I sat down to eat, I didn't neglect myself from anything. I didn't cut out anything. I just prioritized protein first. So in the morning, I switched out. Honestly, I was so terrible. I either wouldn't eat, which is absolutely terrible for you, especially for us women. If we have nothing but caffeine first thing in the morning, it wreaks havoc on your hormones. So especially for those of you who are like me, we're in our 30s now, you have to start being a little bit more careful. You might get away with that kind of stuff when you're younger, and I did, but it catches up to you. So that's one thing I learned. No caffeine first on an empty stomach. So I would wake up, I would drink a full water bottle. So what is that? 16.8 ounces, I believe. Drink a full water bottle, had electrolytes. I chose to just do sea salt, honestly. So I would just do some Celtic salt, which is sea salt. And so I was rehydrating myself. I had a protein shake. So I had the Fairlife protein shakes. I'd go get a case from Costco. My favorite thing for breakfast. I freaking love it. It tastes like a chocolate milkshake to me. Now, when you break down ingredients and all the stuff, is it the healthiest? I don't know, probably not. But it helped me to get protein in the morning. And then anytime we went out to eat or anything, I prioritized protein first. So that's how I first started. And just doing that helped me lose my first 25 pounds. So not any major changes, but that compounded over time, skipping the bagels in the morning, skipping the muffins in the morning, skipping just not eating and going straight to caffeine, moving my body a little bit more by walking on the treadmill and prioritizing protein really helped me with those first 25 pounds. I didn't even have to calculate macros, count my calories, none of that. I tracked water so let's get past the first 25 pounds. Then I did start getting into tracking macros. So highly recommend MyFitnessPal. You guys have probably heard of it. It's pretty popular app. You can plug in all your stats. You can track your weight on there. So once you start seeing results, you start building a little bit of momentum and you get a little bit more excited and willing to do a little extra. So that's exactly where I was at. After that first 20, 25 pounds, I was like, okay, it's working. This is exciting. Now, how do I take it to the next level? How do I hit that next 20 pounds? I need to start tracking my macros a little bit more. Locally, there's a nutrition shop here. You guys probably have one as well. I went in, talked to them a little bit. I did a body scan, so I knew like my body fat percentage and just kind of got a baseline of where I was. Talked to them a little bit about nutrition, and they helped me really nail down my macros. So macros is like your macronutrients, your carbs, your protein, and your fat. So how many grams of each you're supposed to be eating on a daily basis. So they helped me figure that out. You can also use MyFitnessPal to plug that in and figure out your macros as well. There's tons of other online calculators you guys can check out, but that's what I did. And then what I did was, it was too much for me. We're running businesses, right? We're busy. We have a family. It was too much to do all of them. So I only focused on protein and hitting that protein goal. So the biggest thing is that it's okay for you. You need to hit the protein goal, or it's even okay to exceed it as well. I believe my protein goal was, I want to say 120 grams. So pretty much the rule of thumb, take your ideal body weight, healthy body weight, not just what our imaginary goal is, a healthy body weight for you, times it by 0.8, or even better yet, just by 1. So if you, for instance, like now my healthy and my goal weight is 130. So I need to be at minimum hitting 130 grams of protein a day. So in MyFitnessPal, that's what I started tracking was, am I at least getting my 120 grams of protein in? Yes. Okay, great. I didn't worry about the rest. The cool thing is though, is when you're hitting your protein goals, you get fuller faster. So you naturally are eating less carbs. You're naturally eating the right amount of fats as well, or less fats. Fats are healthy, but healthy fats are healthy. There's fats that are obviously not healthy. But I'm telling you guys, I literally through this whole thing was still eating pasta. I'm a carboholic. I admit it, but I was still eating pizza, pasta, all things, but I was making sure to hit my protein goal. Some of my favorite ways to do that is like beef sticks. We shop at Costco a lot. So we'd get beef sticks just to have on hand, protein bars, protein shakes. So yes, processed. Now I'm further along in my journey and I'm trying really hard to make sure I'm getting in actual like real protein, not non-processed protein. But I don't want you guys to worry about all of that at the beginning. You just start making these small changes. So that was the next change that I made. And then I really started getting more serious in the gym. I started lifting weights and I started on a program. So I've bought in so many different online programs. I forget the first girl I bought her program. She was a TikToker that I found. Shoot, I wish I could remember her name. I would say though, her program was a little bit advanced and I wouldn't necessarily recommend starting off with hers. So I started hers though. And then I did Booty King. I just think it's so funny to say that. I don't know why I'm immature, but I did his program. And then I hired a trainer who did like a personalized program for me. And then now I'm actually working through a program from one of our friends. If you guys have seen or heard of Jimmy Queen, he's big on Instagram and in the fitness space. His wife, Haley Queen, she also now takes women as clients as well. But there's an app and it's so easy. I highly recommend following a program. You can log in all your stuff. There's videos to show you correct form, how to set up equipment. So that has helped. And that's what I'm doing now. That was the next step. So after then tracking macros, prioritizing protein. Then I went into, okay, it's time to start lifting weights. When you build muscle, that's when your metabolism kicks in and it takes so much more to feed your muscles. Your muscles will start feeding off of some of the extra body fat you have as well. So it's really important to build muscle. It's even more important, honestly, than just doing a bunch of cardio. So that's kind of the journey there. So it's been since April of 2023. So what is that? We're coming up, it's over 2.5 years. Yeah, April's coming up in a short 4 months. So we're almost to the 3-year mark. I did stall out though for about a year. So I hit, where was I? About 145. I would fluctuate between like 145, 150, and I was there for a year. At this point, I was being way better about actually tracking all macros, staying below being in a calorie deficit, working out consistently. At this point, it had become just a natural part of our routine, which I'm going to get into when answering your guys' questions a little bit more on how you build that routine and sustain it. And I plateaued for about a year. So now it's been probably about 2 months. We actually have started researching peptides. So I've been taking a GLP-3 that really helped me break that plateau. I feel more energized. We've researched some cognitive peptides as well, which has been really, really helpful, especially with just my line of work and what I'm doing on a daily basis. And then also some like helping with muscle building. Now, peptides are not steroids. So please, no rumors that, oh, Bree's on steroids. Do your own research, but it's been so incredibly helpful for now to get to that next stage. So I'm super stoked on them. I'm sure you guys have heard of all the different GLP-1s and GLP-2s, so you guys can do your own research. If you have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer, but I don't want to make this episode all about that, but that is definitely what's helped me break through this plateau and go to the next level, but the habits have already been built. So that's where I'm at now. I weighed in this morning, 138.8 pounds, and I just feel so, beyond that, who cares about that? I feel so much better, so much more confident. I'm able to serve my family better, my company better, my team. My marriage is great. We're just in such a healthy, awesome place. And I want that for you guys, because I remember being that person laying in bed, scrolling through, doom scrolling, and seeing all these people doing the thing that I wanted to do. But I was just a spectator. I can finally say I'm playing the game. I'm in the arena. And I want that for you guys too, because the feeling is just unmatched. But it takes time. It's hard. And it can be really confusing at the beginning and not knowing where to start. So with that being said, let's get into your guys' questions you sent in. And thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it. Helps me to help you. Ooh, I like this. Okay. So this is Farah, Lovely Skin. Thank you, Farah, for your question. How do you start going routinely to the gym? I have gym anxiety. I just showed up. So starting at Planet Fitness was really great because there's an interesting crowd and a very diverse crowd at Planet Fitness. You have your teenagers showing up in their pajamas. I don't understand this. If you show up in your pajamas, that's fine. I'm glad you're at the gym. Not my thing. I don't get it. Anyways, Planet Fitness just felt, their whole thing actually is judgment-free zone. That's right. That's what it felt like, honestly. I just showed up and did it scared. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I just showed up, did it scared, and that's why I started on the treadmill, because you can just be in your own little bubble, have your headphones on, and just kind of start observing. So you just got to show up. You're going to have some anxiety. I don't know how to fully push past that for you guys. The only way for you to push past that is just to show up. So highly recommend a really honestly, Planet Fitness or something to get started. You will eventually, I always say Planet Fitness is kind of a little bit of a entry-level beginner's gym. They're really great at walking you through. I'm pretty sure I didn't utilize this, but I know they had offered different classes, and you could work with a trainer for free and do 30-minute little classes. They could show you around the equipment. So just get started signing up for a gym like Planet Fitness, and then just show up and start by walking on the treadmill and be observant, okay? But you got to push through and do it scared, and you're going to quickly realize people aren't really paying attention to what you're doing. I promise you they're not. For example, there was a guy a few weeks ago that got stuck under the barbell and no one noticed or realized and went to help him because they're not watching. They're in their own zone. But then he yelled for me. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? He's lifting. But anyways, my husband and I rescued him. Actually, more my husband. I just kind of stood there acting like I was doing something. But anyways, the point of this is, I promise you, people aren't looking as much as you think they are. Put some headphones on and show up. Then you'll probably graduate from Planet Fitness. Why I'm saying that is Planet Fitness has a lot of cardio equipment, and really to start achieving these results, you got to be lifting weights. You got to be strength training at least 3 times a week. I'll share with you guys my split right now. So that's what they call it, is your split. So what muscle groups you're working on different days of the week. But start with 3 days a week. That's going to be really great for strength training. After your first step of just showing up to the gym, get on the freaking treadmill. I promise you that's going to really, really help. All right. Next one is moon soul waxing. How do you stay so consistent without seeing results? I get discouraged. I feel you on this. So first, I started looking at the mental gains. I had more energy. I just felt better. Looking back, I'm like, I could see based on my content and pictures and stuff that I was feeling more confident, even though there weren't visible changes. Just the way I carried myself and started presenting myself, especially on social media. I've been at the social media game since 2017. So all throughout my heaviest and now my weight loss journey, I've been on social media, and I could see that in myself, but it was the mental just shift and change. And my husband and I, our marriage was getting better. I had more energy to keep up with my kids. So focus on that. Focus on the non-scale victories too. The scale can be a liar. I promise you it can be a liar. There's something called the fat whoosh. So when you first start losing weight, your fat cells, so imagine a little circle, you start losing fat, but it replaces it with water. So if you continue to push through, usually I think it's average. I don't know everything about this. I remember feeling really discouraged because I was doing everything and not seeing any movement on the scale. I wasn't feeling like those non-scale victories of like my pants being looser. I wasn't feeling anything. I was feeling better mentally, but when it came to the weight loss, it replaces, and then all of a sudden the whole cell becomes water, and then it finally will release. So don't quit too soon. You know the little image of the guys that are mining for diamonds, and the one guy quits when he has this much more to go, and the other guy keeps going and finally hits the jackpot. You don't want to quit before hitting that jackpot, that whoosh. I promise you, you're going to feel so incredible once that happens. And you continue to kind of go through that again and again. Especially us as women, our bodies can react differently. You cannot compare your weight loss journey compared to a male's, okay? So if you're going on this journey with your significant other who is a male, they're going to have a little bit of a different experience than you. It's just how our bodies were created. My husband, I swear he could look at healthy food and lose weight, and it's super freaking annoying. All right, next question. I mean, good for him. Petal Complexions asks, workout routine, please. All right, so I'm going to go into my app. So I hired Haley. She is my coach. Now it's nice because it's not like doing check-ins and stuff. I can if I want to, but it's very much I'm able to just do at my own pace. So she uploads workouts onto the app because I've done both. I've had where I've done weekly check-ins and did all that. It was great for me at the beginning, but then it became another thing I had to do. You guys don't understand. I'm in meetings all the time. So it was like another meeting, and I just didn't need that anymore. I just needed a structured plan for my workouts. So I'm going to pull up my thing. So we have on Mondays is chest, shoulders, and triceps. On Tuesdays, I do back and buys, which is today. I'm filming on a Tuesday. Legs is on Wednesday. Thursday is chest, shoulders, and tries again. Friday is arms. And then Saturday is legs again. So that's my current, but you have to keep in mind, I'm almost to year 3 and I love the gym. It's now my happy place. That I couldn't have said that 2.5 years ago. It was not my happy place. So if you're just starting out, find a program that's a 3-day split. That's what I would recommend. So maybe you do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you're focusing on upper body, lower body, and then a full body day. That's what I'd recommend. Oh, wait, I missed something really big. ChatGPT, you guys. You can literally ask ChatGPT to plug in a plan for you, okay? This is what I would do. If I were to prompt ChatGPT, I didn't want to pay for a trainer, I didn't have the extra disposable income for that, then I would say this. I'm newly starting my fitness journey. I'm currently at XYZ weight. My goal is XYZ weight. I'm currently not active at all, or plug in whatever your stats are. I'm at this weight. My goal weight's this. This is my height. I'm looking for a 3-day split. I'm a beginner, so help me to come up with a workout plan that takes about 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to be home-based. I'm going to be gym-based. I only have access to dumbbells. I have access to a walking pad and dumbbells. I have like whatever your situation is, it will spit out a plan for you, you guys. Seriously, it's like freaking incredible. So I totally forgot about that. But that's what I would recommend. So that's my current right now. But I don't want you guys to compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 3, I guess. Almost 3. All right. But that's what I'm currently doing. How did you set yourself up for a success in a long term? I never get to hold on my path. So this is where creating discipline comes in. So there are days where I don't feel like going, but I know that I'm going to feel so much better on the other side of it. This is my encouragement to you, and this is what I did at the beginning too. I was so done breaking promises that I make to myself. I've given this analogy before, but it's very true, and it's a strong reference that hopefully can help give you a little bit of a mindset shift. When a friend calls you and is like, "Hey, can I get a ride to the airport?" but it's at 5 tomorrow morning, you're like, yeah, sure. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, call someone else. I'm not waking up that early. But for the most part, we're willing to do that for our friends or family, right? So you say, yeah, what do? Maybe you set out your clothes the night before. You set your alarm. You probably can't sleep well because you're scared you're going to sleep through your alarm. You make sure you're there for your friend. Why do we break those promises to ourselves? It starts with winning right from the moment you wake up. This was the biggest shift. This is going to sound crazy, but I learned this from Mel Robbins and my business coach, Bedros. Stop hitting the snooze on your alarm when your alarm goes off in the morning. Instead of me setting my alarm for 6 a.m., it's such a tiny shift and it made such a big impact. Instead of setting it for 6 a.m., knowing that I wasn't going to get out of bed till 6:25, 6:30, I changed my alarm to be for 6:30. And when it went off, I got up out of bed. That was my first win of the day, and it set the tone for the rest of the day. You're subconsciously telling yourself when you hit that snooze button and you go back to bed, or maybe you doom scroll on your phone in bed and you don't get up, you made a promise to yourself the night before, and it's all subconsciously. You made a promise to yourself the night before that you're going to wake up at 6. Your alarm goes off, you press snooze, you just told yourself you're breaking a promise that you made, and now you're starting your day off with a loss. I know it seems silly. I know it seems simple, but these little things, you guys, has such a major impact. So that, and then also having little rewards, non-food rewards. I loved going to like TJ Maxx and maybe getting a cute new shaker bottle, and it was for not weight loss rewards. It was for showing up awards. I went to the gym 3 days a week this week. I'm going to go get a cute little shaker cup. I'm going to go get a cute little coffee mug. I'm going to get a new sports bra. Whatever it is for you, set up goals, or I don't even want to call them goals, promises. Set up promises, keep them, reward yourself. If you can keep that cycle, then the reward becomes the results you start seeing, and it's easier to keep that momentum. It's just like the water well analogy at first. You're pumping really hard, nothing's coming out, and then all of a sudden though, you push past that and the well is flowing. That's momentum phase. You guys got to get to the momentum phase. People quit too soon. It's going to be uncomfortable. We're not here to seek comfort. That's one thing too. I no longer sought comfort. I actually sought discomfort. We literally signed up and did a marathon with only 7 weeks of training, and I almost freaking died. I'm just kidding. It was pretty freaking gnarly though. Like, we did all these challenges to break through that mental game of like, oh, I need to be comfortable. It needs to feel good in order to do the thing I need to do. It's not about feeling good. It's about doing the thing that you know you need to do. Life is hard either way. It's hard to be overweight and miserable and not confident. It's also hard to be disciplined, but I like the results from the discipline and what this brings me rather than what this brought me. I lived that for 32 years. Well, okay, maybe not. As a newborn child, I did not live that way. I lived that way, I'd say. I had my daughter at 19, probably from the age of like 21 through like 31, 32. A full decade, I lived miserably, not feeling good about myself. So I promise you, choose your hard. It comes to that at the end of the day. Choose your hard. Ashley behind the camera, I can't take credit for this one. She just said, the hardest part of going to the gym is going to the gym. It literally is that. Maybe give yourself a little reward for even just showing up. Make that your promise and commitment. I am going to show up to the gym. Step 1, just do that. Do that for 3 days. I don't care if you go drive and sit in the parking lot. Let's get through the door. Okay. Go in, scan your little card, and then I don't even care what you do from there. Show up to the gym 3 days a week. If you go to Planet Fitness, they have wonderful massage beds and tanning beds as well. Okay, just kidding. Get on a treadmill. Do something. How did you curb cravings? I'm the worst with that and eating out. Dude, I know. Okay, so one of my favorite like snacks and treats was having a Fairlife chocolate protein shake and 11 pretzels, because that was a serving size of pretzels. I would get the organic like flat pretzels from Costco. So that really kind of craved my sweet and like that salty. So I would just have that at night. I was really bad about I would snack a lot at night. I used to partake in Gardening. Yes, that's how you say that. Gardening. I quit that. It's been a little over a year now. That's actually really helped. But I would get those midnight, snack cravings. But that was my go-to. Protein shake, 11 pretzels, and it did it for me. So finding replacements for healthier versions of your favorite stuff. So look up recipes. There's so much online. I would chat GPT it. Now, shoot, I wish I started using chat GPT then. I totally didn't. But say I'm craving a chocolate chip cookie right now. I'm on my health and fitness journey. What are some better options? That's something you can do. There's so much out there. I promise you can find a replacement. Or if I really wanted pizza, honestly, I still ate pizza. I was prioritizing protein, so I'd fill up with protein first, and then it would lead me to only eating a slice of pizza rather than a whole personal size to myself. But you could find replacements. For a little while there, I was doing tortillas and making my own and putting it in my little oven, my little countertop oven. So you find replacements for the cravings. Also, a lot of times it can be mineral deficiencies too. There's certain things that we crave that is actually a signal from our body saying that we're missing something. So electrolytes in the morning was really helpful for me. So I would just do Celtic salt on the tongue, drink my whole water bottle. That was helpful. And then doing that test that I mentioned earlier through 10X Health, I really think that might have helped because I was taking zinc. There was 3 things I was taking. I kind of forget right now, and I haven't been consistent with it anymore. But look into that. It could be some sort of deficiency as well. Can you share what you're eating to lose weight? I know I've covered that a little bit, but now I do have to be a little bit more strict. So we do a lot of chicken. So one of the best purchases we made, and this was well into our journey already, we got a Blackstone, and we would buy a bunch of chicken breasts, cut it up. What do we do? Sea salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and then towards the end when it's almost done cooking, we put some sauce on it. Costco has this really good Japanese barbecue sauce or teriyaki sauce. We do that. So I'd eat a lot of chicken breasts and rice. We have a rice maker and it's super easy. Make some white rice, veggies, ground beef. My husband loves the ground beef. I'm more of chicken. Trader Joe's has really great ground chicken too, so you can kind of make some lettuce wraps. So it's just really prioritizing too. When you're first starting, it's okay. Do the processed protein. I don't care. You're getting protein in. But then you really do want to eat more whole food. So it's crazy though how your taste buds change too. The other night I was craving blueberries and that was sweet enough for me. It's so crazy. And sometimes I'll eat things. Oh, we made sugar cookies too. I saw some at Costco, the little old school sugar cookies that I absolutely used to love. I tried it. It was so sweet to me now. It just doesn't taste the same. So believe it or not, your taste buds will change too. But just making sure you're eating whole foods. Look up ChatGPT it too. Give me a grocery list of some healthy protein options, healthy carbs. You want fast-acting carbs. So some fast-acting carbs too is banana. Before the gym, I would get Dave's Killer Bread, a loaf from Costco, make 1 slice of bread and then have a banana. It was easy to eat in the car on the way to dropping the kids off from school. And I'd put a little bit of butter, use real butter though. We do Kerrygold butter. And then I put a little honey on it. It was a sweet treat. I loved it. Fast-acting carbs means your body's going to use it and burn through it fairly quickly. So then dropping off the kids, having ate that, and then getting into the gym, I actually felt a lot stronger and I'm burning through those carbs and those carbs are actually fueling my body. And there's so much of this stuff online too. You guys can go check out my friends, the Queens, Jimmy Queen and Haley Queen. Look them up on Instagram. He shares a ton of recipes. It's very easy to make too, and it's so delicious. How do you keep up with your workout routine and eating habits while being so busy running a business? So I have to say it got a lot easier once our youngest was in school as well. So we just created it being part of our routine. First of all, I realized through working with my business coach, I remember clear as day our first meeting with him. He's like, congratulations on the weight loss you've had so far, but you guys need to lock in and you need to handle this. And I was like, aye, Captain. I'm really good with I'm the type, I'm going to sign up for a workout class only if you're yelling in my face, telling me I suck and to do 5 more reps. I like that. So my business coach was the perfect one for us, to just be very assertive of you need to handle this. And I did it I promised myself when signing up with him that I was just going to do whatever he said because he had the results I'm looking for. So might as well listen to his advice. I'm paying for it. But I didn't fully understand at first, but then I realized wow, prioritizing this directly affects positively my business and our growth. As my weight came down, our revenue grew. It's the craziest thing. Like, health and fitness is such a gateway into success, because you're creating the character traits you build through being disciplined. It directly correlates through business. I've raised my thermostat, first of all, meaning when hardships come up in business, because it's not if, it's when. So when they come up, it's so much easier for me to just attack those obstacles now. Like, before, little things that would come up would just destroy me. Now it's like, I still have problems, and the problems have gotten even bigger, but I've gotten bigger too. I'm able to get through them and handle them without it just completely destroying me. So, and then the discipline that you build through that, the unwillingness to quit, like, I 100% understand why. But anyways, keeping up with it was just part of our routine. So we go drop the kids off at school, go straight to work, or go straight to the gym and then get to work. If you're a solo esthetician watching this, you control your schedule. Now, I know it's hard because especially if you have kids, you're on a deadline to pick them up from school too. You can either wake up earlier and have that discipline of doing it before you take the kids to school, before everyone wakes up for the day. It can be a 30-minute workout, you guys. You don't have to spend an hour, 2 hours in the gym, or make it part of your routine. Take clients a little bit later. I know it can feel like it's a big hit financially. I promise you though, it helps you actually grow financially. This is one promise I can be really good about making. If you prioritize your health and your fitness and you start really getting disciplined in that, you will make more money. Why it works, I don't 100% still understand it, but I'm a product of it. So, and I've seen it time and time again with a ton of other entrepreneurs, okay? Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but it will happen if you stay consistent. How do you avoid burnout as a mom? I'm asking as a mom of a 2-year-old and a solo SD. Yes, that's a lot. So again, it did get a little bit easier for me as my kids got older. My youngest started full-time in school with being in kindergarten. But include your kids in it. Do you know how much fun my kids have working out with us? When we were doing home workouts, there was a span of time when I was mainly working out at home. Have them join you. Put on a YouTube video, go to TJ Maxx or somewhere, get the little 2-pound weights or whatever's appropriate for your child, and let them work out beside you. Then it's now not only something so healthy for you, such a great example to your child, but now it's an activity that they're doing with you too. So I would just really encourage you to include your child into it. My kids love working out with us, and they just crave time with us, right? So they don't care what we're doing. My kids will even be not now because they're older, so they complain, but they used to be stoked about helping me with dishes. So it's one of those things. So and burnout, it's like, it's so hard because you're so tired, right? And it feels so counterintuitive, but the working out actually helps you to gain energy. You're going to reduce the amount of burnout you will feel if you can prioritize your fitness and your health and feeling good and naturally energizing yourself. How do you prioritize yourself when you have family, grandparents, chores, and a business? So I realized that, and this is so cheesy, right? We've all heard this saying, but it's so true. You can't pour from an empty cup. I serve my family and all the responsibilities I have. I have more responsibilities now than I ever did 2.5 years ago at the beginning of this journey. I'm able to show up and serve all the people that depend on me so much better now by prioritizing myself than I ever did before. Okay, so yes, there are some sacrifices as well. It's quality over quantity. When I show up and I show up really well in a way that I can be proud of, versus the old me before. I was just like sluggishly going through the motions to check things off the list, and I wasn't showing up my best self. So if you can take that from feeling like you're being selfish to feel like, actually, I'm able to, when I make myself the best version of me, I'm able to serve the people that I love even more. But also, we need to be realistic. Again, you don't need to be spending 2 hours in the gym. You don't have to be meal prepping for 5 hours. It literally on a Sunday will take, especially I'm very blessed to have my husband on this journey with me because we'll work as a team, get it done. But an hour and a half, and we can have 4 days of meals done. So it's really just, You just got to do it and get started messy, get started not fully understanding everything, but just get started, and you'll learn along the way. You'll learn how to make it a little bit easier, create systems that make it easier. My husband and I divide and conquer now. He knows the grocery list. The first time going to Costco to try to meal prep was like, oh my God, I don't know what we're doing. But now it's so easy. It takes like 15 minutes, walk through Costco, grab chicken breast, grab ground beef, grab some rice. Like it gets easier. You just have to get started and then you will learn. Just like when starting aesthetics, like the you that was a esthetician student is a whole lot different version of who you are now as a graduate. And then those of you who have been solo for a while, it's incomparable, right? But it just took you showing up to class and getting started and learning something new. So you have to be willing to be new and to kind of suck at this whole fitness thing at first. And then you will start to learn and you'll get better and you'll progress. And you'll start to learn to love it as well, which I know sounds crazy. Okay, so love to hear how you find time between momming and running a huge company. So very similar to the other question, but I will add that I am so much more intentional now with my time. So sure, maybe I have a little bit less time for my business, but I'm so much more like straight to get the job done instead of diddle-daddling as much as I used to. Like it would take me so much more time to like get to a task. Now it's like when I have like a time crunch, I'm actually way more efficient than I am when I have all the time in the world. So prioritizing the gym first and getting into the office at 10:30. Sometimes we don't start till 11. Not super sustainable if you're still taking clients. You have to remember, I'm not taking clients anymore. But even a 10 o'clock start time, that could be enough time for you guys at the gym. You could even do 9:30. If you're dropping your kids off, for us, we're leaving the school by 8 to the gym by 8:15. I could totally get a really solid workout in and be done by 9. So I just found that as I prioritize that, I actually was so much more efficient with my tasks that I needed to do with my business. And I felt so much better that I just got it done. I didn't avoid things as much. I don't procrastinate as much on things. Wanting to start my own journey, but my depression is winning. This one's hard because the last thing you want to do is get up and go to the gym. It's like, it's every little step, right? It's like, okay, I have to get up. I have to get dressed. I have to like show up and be around people. Like I get that. Start at home. Get a walking pad. TikTok Shop now honestly has some pretty legit walking pads and they're like $120. Get a walking pad. Maybe forget the walking pad. Go walk outside would be the best thing you could possibly do, especially if you're experiencing depression. First thing in the morning, getting some sunshine on you, getting outside, that could be your first step, but it's just doing it. It's not going to feel good at first, but being depressed doesn't feel good either. So you have to force yourself to make one little step towards something that's going to help start to pull you out of that. So getting maybe some dumbbells and committing like, okay, I'm going to do 3 different workouts and do 3 sets of maybe 10 to 12 reps. That should only take you about 20, 25 minutes to do that, but that activity is going to give you some natural dopamine, which is going to directly help you with feeling depressed. So at first, it's just that it was my moment in the motel that I told you about. It was that I'm done moment. Okay. And I decided, I'm like, this is it. I'm going to make a change. You have to have that moment and then you have to follow through and you have to be consistent. And I promise you, it will help you to pull out of that. So I'm really sorry. Anyone who's dealing with it, I've dealt with that. It sucks. It's terrible. But some hard truth and love coming from a loving, no one's going to come to save you, which sucks. We want someone to come and just like, see and feel how terrible you're feeling. And hopefully there are people in your life that can see that, but at the end of the day, they can't take the actions for you. So you're just going to have to be your own best friend in doing something that's loving for you, that's going to help you feel better. So it's really just getting started. And then the last 2 questions are, how do you stay consistent? How do you stay consistent and back on track? So consistency is just a discipline that I've now created in myself. I'm going to stay consistent, and it's because of all the mindset work I've done. Read that book, The Compound Effect. Once you've experienced what consistency brings, then anytime I have a new goal, I just know it's having the goal, working backwards on what those steps are to get you to that goal, and then just being consistent with them. I've experienced it enough to now I just push through the discomfort of being consistent. if I want that goal bad enough. So that's one thing. But also if I fall off track, which we all do, like last week, I didn't go to the gym not once. My kids were off for Thanksgiving break, Black Friday, things were crazy. And I just was like, know what? That's fine. Not going to the gym this week, but come Monday, I'm going back to the gym. I'm just jumping back in. So I broke that habit that I used to have of if I had a cheat meal, which now I'm not the biggest fan of that term and everything, but if I had a cheat meal, then I'd be like, oh, well, I already cheated. So then it would ruin the whole rest of the day. I would eat like crap the whole rest of the day. Then it was like, well, it's Tuesday. I already ruined it. I'll start Monday again. I stopped being the Monday person. I stopped being the first of the month person. I stopped being the first of the year person. If I fell off, then I caught myself as quickly as possible and just got back on. This is not a sprint, okay? This is a marathon. If you were running a marathon and you fell and ate crap at mile 13, okay, and you needed to stop, you needed to visit an aid station, rinse your wounds, throw a Band-Aid on, maybe take some Advil, and then you got up and kept running, does that mean that you didn't run 13 miles up until that point and now all of that's erased and now you're only running 13 No, it still adds on. You keep going. Now you hit mile 14, 15, 16 until you hit the finish line at 26.2. Those 13 miles that you've already done don't just disappear. You just fell off track for a minute and you needed to get bandaged up. The biggest thing is you can't fall and then be like, I'm done, and take a ride back to the finish line and not complete and quit and give up. That's when then you completely fall off and then you lose all the momentum you've built. It's okay to fall off. It's going to happen. You got to keep running, get back up and keep going. This is a lifelong journey, you guys. I've fluctuated. I lost the 75 pounds. I went back up 10, 15 pounds at one point. And now I'm coming back down again. It's okay, but you got to be good at catching yourself quicker. All right. That's all the questions. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this turned out to be a little bit longer than I was aiming for, but I really hope that this was helpful for you guys. If you have any additional questions, I'm happy to answer, but at the end of the day, for the most part, we all know what we need to do. It's just a matter of doing it. And what really changed everything for me was realizing no one was going to come to do it for me. No one was going to come to save me. And I just needed to do the things that I know I needed to do, even though I didn't want to do them. And there was no really magic formula or answer. It's all the boring crap. Eat less, work out, move your body, drink water. It's all the stuff we know we need to do. You're worth it, okay? Be your own best friend, like I said. I promise you will thank yourself 3 months from now, 6 months, a year, 2 years, and I'm here to support you in any way I can. All right, I love you guys. I appreciate you for being here. Please subscribe before you head out, and then I'll see you back next week.